Hey guys, welcome to the class. This is my first, well, not really my first, but the first video that I make this semester. We had a greeting from before that I really should update. But let's have a wonderful semester this time around. I'm going to clarify a little bit on your first conversation with your country group, which is your first real assignment. And I'm going to showcase what we have here with Bolivia. There are three groups in the class, and so right now I'm going to just look at this one. So there is a video that you're going to have to watch, and it's called Ethnomusicology 2.0 by John Velia. And it talks about some aspects that he envisions with regards to ethnomusicology, and he defines it. So it's a really fun watch. It's not too long. Go ahead and enjoy it and start thinking about your country. So in this case, I'm thinking already Bolivia. What am I going to do in terms of collaboration, repatriation, support, amplify, right? And you're going to get definitions of each one of those terms yet. Also, something else that I want you to think about, and this is kind of like the long topic of the entire summer semester we have before us. We're going to look at music and folklore, which basically is anything that has to do with not music and dance, not music and religion, not music and politics. Anything that has a relationship to the folklore, the traditions of a country that is not associated with one of the other three elements that we have in our research. And I did this on purpose just to kind of make it easier to tackle one country at a time. So if you have those four precepts, it's a lot easier to look at the music of a large group of people, right? Where you have so many different traditions. Again, folklore deals with traditions. And I think I talked a little bit about it in the introduction. I think I remember seeing that I talked about the walkabout. Of course, that's in Australia, not Bolivia, right? So I'm not going to go into too much detail because I don't want to do your homework for you, Bolivia, but there is just a lot of stuff there. Music and politics, you're going to look generally at what music and politics happen, but you want to give an overview, right? So you don't want to talk extensively about music and folklore. Just do a quick search on Wikipedia. I know it's terrible that I admit to it, but Wikipedia provides you with a lot of really good insights as to what other sources you could be using. But this is kind of like a skimming the surface assignment, right? So you're going to look at Bolivia and you look at folk traditions. They do this. Whatever really kind of like catches your eye that they do, you think, oh, this would be cool to talk about, and you're going to put it on your paper. Then you talk about music and politics. Did something happen politically that musicians kind of rose up and said, hey, this is not right. We need to actually stand our ground. I'm thinking of Bob Marley, Get Up, Stand Up. That's a really good example of political delivery of something that musicians are saying, stand up for your rights. Then we talk about music and religion in Bolivia. Most people are going to be Catholic. And is there something in the Catholic traditions in Bolivia that you're skimming through, just looking through the country and religious rights, anything that has to do with music that, like, oh, I could put that in my paper. Just bring it in and put it in there. It's not to be a very long paper. So again, you kind of want to skim the surface here. You don't want to get too nitty gritty into details here. Then you look at music and dance, the boogie part, is there a dance that is ubiquitous to Bolivia? And you could go in history. You could say traditionally they're doing this, or is there this new hip, cool dance that everybody does right now in Bolivia? For example, reggaeton, right? It's definitely not Bolivian, right? So it comes out of Puerto Rico. And so it really has taken the Latin world by the storm. So that kind of talks about Bolivia in those four precepts. Then you look at Valier's description of Ethnomusicology 2.0, and you just look at what has been done in terms of collaboration, right? So I made some notes, right? So what does he talk about when he talks about the collaboration? Giving rights to people. Are these things that are being done by the music world, right? So just again, a simple Google search, collaborations between musicians, musicologists, and Bolivian musicians. Is it happening? Then what kind of support are there archives of music, of Bolivian music being kept and being updated? You know, are we serving the people from Bolivia right? Then we actually talk about amplifying. You know, are there things that relate to the history of the music of the country? And again, this can you can really go down a rabbit hole on this one. Again, this is a survey assignment. It's not very long. Um, your essay has a 700 word minimum. I would say do not go beyond 1500 words. And again, this is really skimming the surface. I want to see that you understand what Villiers talks about when he says collaboration, repatriation, right? This is the idea of basically giving back. You know, so has there been an effort that you can find? You could just honestly say, look, you know, Dr. Chapman, I looked it up. I couldn't find an example of repatriation of Bolivian folk music. Um, I would scratch my head and say, I doubt that, but okay. But I want you to just really put an effort towards that end. Okay? And then you're going to put this on an essay. And after you're done with your essay, proofread it, please. Then you're going to just kind of like give us a summary of your essay. You don't need to read the whole essay. Some people last semester read their whole essay. You can do that, but I would rather it be more spontaneous than that. Take your cue perhaps from this video. You know, I just made some notes after rewatching the Velia video, and I'm talking to you about it, and I'm doing it as spontaneously as possible. I am sure I've used colloquialisms, I've not used proper grammar, and I am sure also that my accent is showing through. But you're getting to know your teacher, me, David Chapman. Hello, welcome to the class. Love having you here. But again, you're talking to your peers within your country. So I hope this was helpful. Welcome to the class. Let's just have a ball. Enjoy. And stop recording. There we go.